trying to think of a good way to open this up because we were ranting about stuff off mic. So we're finally back at 50 Shades Freed. This is our last movie in the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy.
Trilogy, yeah.
This is Real Horror Show, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, it's Real Horror Show, and that's Sam, and I'm Stormy. What up? Happy Valentine's Day.
This movie was the worst of the three.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know what happened in this movie.
I agree.
But I guess that's kind of a good thing because I'm less mad at both characters in this one. They seem to be on their best behavior.
Yeah, that too. There's so much I want to talk to you about. I can't wait. I'm sad it's over, but I'm glad it's ended.
Yeah.
Finally be 50 Shades freed of this movie. You like that? Yeah.
So 50 Shades Freed is a 2018 American erotic romantic drama film directed by James Foley and written by Neil Leonard and based on E.L. James' 2012 novel of the same name. It is the third and final installment of the 50 Shades film series. The film stars Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan as Anastasia Steele and Christian Grey, respectively, and follows the couple as they marry and must deal with Anna's former boss, who begins to stalk them. So interestingly enough, apparently the principal photography for this movie began at the exact same time as 50 Shades Darker. So they were more or less made at the same time.
Interesting.
Which I can see because it picks up pretty much right away.
It does. Yeah, it definitely does.
And breaking it right on down into acting.
Yep, let's go. Let's just go.
I think Christian and Anna had the least amount of chemistry out of all three films in this one.
Yes, I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Both of them were just really phoning it in because this was the end. And honestly, I'm sure they were over it.
Yeah, definitely. And with their there's so much. I don't know if this goes in characters or elsewhere, but I just want to talk about the fact that she basically married a stranger because they got married and she made a joke about pregnancy. And then she literally was like, you want to have kids, right? It's like, girl, these are conversations you need to have while you're dating.
Oh, absolutely.
And that goes for anybody else out there who hasn't had that discussion with their significant other but plan to marry, because you might be, surprised to see what they have to say. But even in that kind of a conversation, Sam, it wasn't even a big deal. The biggest emotion was when Anna got mad that one time and she swore at him when she was getting dressed. Mm-hmm. That's it. Everything else was fucking not a big deal in this movie at all. Nothing.
This was the most anticlimactic end to any film franchise I have ever seen. And that includes Twilight.
Twilight was really dramatic. The ending, to say the least.
The filmmakers behind Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part 2 made a very smart decision with that fake out battle. Because if you've read the novel Breaking Dawn, you know that there was no battle in that novel. So that was a very anticlimactic, boring ending to a book series. But because of that, the filmmakers made the wise decision to shock audiences and rip off Carlisle's head.
Yeah, and in that fight, so many big characters do die. Mm-hmm. And that it was very ballsy of them to have that, and also very cool to do the fake out. And so it did raise the stakes at the very end there.
But this had nothing.
No, like I said, Sam, the vibe of this movie was nothing was a big deal. Nothing. Office, her promotion, she's just oh, wow, that's great. You know what I mean? Girl.
Also,
and then same with Chris. Yeah.
Speaking of her job, I think my favorite moment of her being head of a publishing division or whatever the fuck she's doing these days is she's giving feedback on their project, and she says to someone, by the way, make the font 2 points larger in the hardback.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like, I get what it means, but what does the font look like? You can't
Right, I know.
We have our masters are in publishing, and we took a book design class, and I'm reteaching myself book design as we speak.
Yeah.
You can't just like increase the font and nothing else.
Yes, right? And so that's very interesting, especially since like it seemed like they were closing on the project, and it's like, oh, by the way, last minute thing, but let the printer know that like everything they printed, no go. Increase the, you know what I mean? Like, girl, like it doesn't fucking work that way, dude.
Because there's line spacing and letter spacing to get the flow of text right on the page.
Oh, absolutely.
And making sure the line breaks are right.
When you say font, like what does the font look like? That matters, people, because what does it look like? Is it a serif? Is it sans serif? Is it gonna work 2 points bigger? So all of these things. So
it's always so interesting.
Yeah, was there a point where someone said some shit like, oh, Anna, or did Anna say it about herself where people think that she just got this job because Christian like gave it to her and she has like no idea what she's doing?
Not to her face, but she does feel that way at the beginning when he's like, there's no Anna Gray working at this publishing press. And she's like, I want to make sure they know I got here on my own. And it's been a year since we watched 50 Shades Darker, but I'm pretty sure she got the job because she had one good idea.
Yes.
She went from being an assistant to the director of an imprint, basically.
Yeah, and she is also, they gave her the promotion to like head of like fiction editing. And I'm just like, wow. And they were like, yeah, you weren't even here. And I was like, how the fuck did that work? Like without having one outside candidate being considered. That's like not how it works. Anyway. So yeah. Anyway, she has a great new promotion and she has a great this, and I don't remember how the old office looked, but I guess this new one is better. And then okay, so
we should talk about Christian.
Yeah, I was about to say let's talk about Christian. Mr. 50.
I like Jamie Dornan a lot. I said in the mini show I watched him in Barb and Star Visit Vista Del Mar, and he's like so great, and I still think he's great in this. Is he a great dom though?
No, not at all. I forgot he was a dom. I thought, yeah.
That's not a attack against Jamie Dornan. It's just he has these big doe-like eyes and he's not intimidating at all like you expect a dom to be.
Yeah, he's actually and I don't know if you felt this way.
He's very submissive.
Yeah, he's very submissive, but he's acting like this goes alongside that, but he's acting like really like man-child TM material in this one for like no reason. Like he's suddenly like, you know what I mean? And I feel like a dom should just like know what to do in all aspects of life, but he's like, oh, I know what to do with, you know, eroticism, but like I can't make dinner. You know what I mean? Like that, why? Like you should just know what to do.
Can we skip ahead to that end scene where he's making dinner?
Yes.
That red sauce or whatever he was cooking was not burnt at all.
No, because he was like pushing it on the thing and he's like, oh, fuck it. And I was like, I guess they're trying to tell me it's burnt to the pan, but it's clearly looks fine. So like, he doesn't even know what he's doing. So he thinks it's like, if I were Anne, I'd be like, dude, like, what is happening? What is happening? What is my life? Like, she married that guy. Like, what is your life, Anna? You didn't know he couldn't fucking cook and doesn't want to have kids. Way to go.
But yeah, Jamie Dornan, love interest in a romantic comedy. Belfast, I think he starred in. I haven't seen it yet, but that's an Oscar-nominated movie. I'm sure he's fabulous in all of those roles. But as a dominant character,
child,
he doesn't have those vibes.
No.
He's too cute.
That too, his face is too soft.
Yeah, he's got these big doe eyes and a charming smile.
Tell me what you think about this, Sam, because I'm sure you maybe had this thought once. But whenever Anna got her personal bodyguard people, she always had that really cute Christian Grey. You know what I mean? He has a super angular face. I don't know. I just constantly compare Christian to other men.
Yeah. A Henry Cavill type would be great for Christian Grey.
Yeah, or even let me look up the guy's name, but it's someone of that caliber, you know, like that's who I picture because they're just so big. Jamie Dornan isn't that big of a man. He's tall, but he's not like an enormous dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who is this guy I'm thinking of? He was in Army Hammer, who's enormous.
Yes.
And very handsome.
Army Hammer, who's also been in hot water because of abuse allegations and
God,
potential cannibalism.
Right.
So
I fucking forgot about that.
So
I did not even.
You might be onto something with the Dom vibes because, like, if you read those DMs with like the fucking cannibal shit,
He wants to cook your ribs and eat them. Duh.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, and that's as Dom as you can get, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
And Jamie Dornan's like, I can't cook pasta.
So this would have been a great role for Army Hammer back in his heyday before all that came out.
That poor dude. Could you? Oh my God. Wow. I didn't even mean to do that.
Yeah.
So many other things have happened that have occupied my space.
No, I think a lot of people have forgotten the abuse and cannibal allegations against Army Hammer. And he's actually in a movie coming out soon, Death on the Nile.
Oh, I see.
People
that
were
Agatha Christie thing.
Yeah, people were wondering if that movie was coming out because of everything that went down with Army Hammer, but they're moving forward with it.
I see. Okay.
So I guess we'll see what happens there.
That makes me mad because they moved on with him, but they like stopped on projects for
Johnny
Kevin
Depp?
Spacey.
Oh.
Yeah, and Johnny Depp too.
Yeah, I don't really miss Kevin Spacey.
Really? I haven't unpaused. I miss him of House of Cards got without him. That's the only reason. Anyway, Army Hammer, wow.
Yeah,
but you can't unsee it.
It's a hard when you like an actor and then you find out like what a horrible piece of shit they are.
Yeah, doesn't that suck? Oh God. Yeah. But they are acting people, so that's not really how they are. You love their character, but not themselves. So, can we talk really quickly about Quite Exist, because they all had 4 lines, but I want to talk about the like ex-boss guy who's like crazy, Hyde. Okay, so it was him. It was the same actor the whole time, because I feel like a damn fool right now when I looked at that guy, because it's been a year since we watched the other one, and I was like, why does he look so familiar? And it's not because of 50 Shades, it's because of something else. So Jack Hyde, who they make look absolutely fucking awful in this show, Sam, he's in another show, which is one of my favorite shows, called The Nick, which was on, or like Cinemax, and it's about the 1900s and like surgeons making these huge medical discoveries in America. Really cool stuff. And this amazing, handsome surgeon, and they really make him look really bad in all 3 movies because I didn't even recognize the man. So he's shit in these movies, but what I'm trying to say is I adore the man because he has such range. You know what I mean? So even this guy, when I send you this picture, Sam, can you picture him as Christian Grey? Because he's bigger than Jamie Dornan, maybe. He's just like, he's another enormous man. So that's all I have to say about that. But let me show you how he looks in The Nick. Any other characters that did something exciting?
Lexi from the Vampire Diaries is in this movie.
Oh my God! When she walked on, I was like, "Ooh, Vampire Diaries, yes, girl. She's so pretty." And why do they talk about her boobs so much? They looked just normal size to me. The fuck is that about?
Like, that was a weird conflict that wasn't actually a conflict.
Yeah.
In any sense. Anna like threatens her because she's flirty with Christian, and then we're led to think that Christian's brother is having an affair with her. But no, none of that matters.
It doesn't matter at all. Oh my gosh. Here, I'm gonna send this image to you in the chat. I think he looks really nice here, but he has like very light hair naturally, I think. He looks very good. So yeah, that didn't fucking matter. She seems like a really cool lady. But she was like, you know, being like over the top with Christian. But other than that, the only other reason she was there was to create that conflict, but she was clearly helping the man pick out an engagement ring because she's a designer of not only homes but rings.
Totally.
For that work, you could design but she's always so pretty. In fact, I love her because I consider her a scream queen. She was in a really great movie with Emily Browning called The Uninvited. And it's like a late 2000s horror movie. And she's a bit younger, but she's still so pretty because she has her very prominent cheekbones and chin. She has a really round cheeks. And I love to see her. So very cool.
I don't think there's much else to talk about because, like you said, everyone else only has 4 lines. So let's get down into story because I want to talk about their Aspen trip where they're out with all their friends and the ice cream scene. But
oh my God,
not so much the ice cream scene, like the ice cream part of it. But when you're staying at an Airbnb with multiple people, how rude is it to fuck in the kitchen?
Sam, I literally, I wish we watched this together because I said that out loud to myself whenever they were having sex on the kitchen table and she knocks like the thing on the floor. I was like, if I was there, I'd be pissed because I would be awake. The whole house is quiet. And she's like, I don't care what they think. And I'm just like, listen, I would be pissed. I would be pretty pissed. And I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go on a hike because I couldn't sleep last night for some reason. You know what I mean? So it's actually very fucking annoying of Anna to be that annoying bitch because she like can't control herself. But like
you have a bedroom.
You do, and it's really nicer than the table. And I know they were trying to make it out to be erotic because they were having sex in a different place, which was supposed to make it exciting. So therefore, just that element alone be exciting enough for you to take it to the bedroom. You know what I mean? So, yeah, agreed. Fucking pissed.
Like, it's the kitchen. It is a communal space for everyone.
Gross.
What if his sister needed to get up and get a glass of water?
What if everybody else wanted to have ice cream in the middle of the night, couldn't fucking sleep? Not everyone's going to be fucking in the kitchen. That's some bullshit. That's not realistic.
When you're sharing a space, communal spaces are off limits for sex, unless like no one else is in the house at the time, in which case, I don't know, go for it. But when everybody else is sleeping.
Go for it because that's, Oh my goodness. Was he in all 50 Shades? I'm sorry, I'm back to the guy.
I don't remember him being in the first one, but he might have been. It's been 2 years since we watched the first one.
It has been. Oh my God, Sam. I don't know if he was in the other 2, and that's why I didn't recognize him, Sam. I'm going to go and look deeper into this because I was like, why didn't I notice it was him before? Because it wasn't fucking him. Okay. Continue on while I take a look at this Jack Hyde.
So the movie begins with their wedding, so we don't have any conflict regarding that. That's just the opening scene. They're happy. They go on their honeymoon. They're still happy, except for when Anna rolls over in her sleep and her tits are out.
That was like... Wait, no, continue on, because there's a whole thing you and I needed to talk about Anna being topless for most of the movie for no reason.
It was worse than the second one. Like, she was topless so much in this movie.
It was more than needed. It was more than needed, more than necessary.
Like scenes where they're just arguing, she's topless in.
Yeah, that was what like rubbed me the wrong way, is like, okay, so she's topless in the beginning because they're on their honeymoon at like a nude beach or something, and she wants to take her shirt off, and I was like, well, that's fine, that's fine. And they show her boobs, and I was like, okay, well, that's fine because it's 50 Shades, so now we're rated R territory. And then she's just like topless sleeping, and I was like, okay, that's fine. And then you're right, Sam, we get to the fucking fight and they're fighting, but I can't focus on her anger because her boobs are out. And like, it's just strange. it's very strange.
The thing that gets me about the amount of female nudity in the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy is these movies are made with a female audience in mind. So it's weird. I don't know. It's just weird that the female body is so much more sexualized still than the man's body.
I know. I wanted to talk to you about this specifically.
And there's an argument to be made, like in TV shows where women can just be topless because women are just topless sometimes, and it doesn't have to be sexual. But it's just so weird when it's supposed to be a serious argument that they're having, and Anna's just standing there, tits out,
like yelling at him. She's like, "You fucked up, Christian, because you called the woman who you fucked." And it was, the whole thing was very awkward, actually, because now he did like reach out to that lady, and I forgot about what even happened to her. And they said that she was like in jail, or is that wrong? I don't remember because they pack so much stuff into these movies, but all the stuff is very dull. It's hard. Anyway. Yes. So I didn't like that because I thought it was very out of place. I mean, you can put her in her lingerie, which is cool, but like don't have her boobs out, because like I wouldn't want to have my boobs out if I was fighting. I'd be like, give me a minute.
Not that David and I fight or anything, but if we're fighting,
not that you're ever naked in front of him, Sam.
Yeah. I'm not gonna have my boobs out. The first thing I'm gonna do if we're fighting is put the boobs away.
Right. The first thing I'm going to say is like, okay, excuse me. Because an aspect of fighting would be like forcing them to not look at your naked body because you're mad. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just my opinion though. Other people may see it differently, but I agree with you, Sam. It just didn't sit right with me. It was super fucking awkward.
Oh, and then we got an edging scene, which was weird.
Can we talk about that? Because all right, I want to
because Anna still doesn't get how BDSM works.
Yes, yeah. I was actually kind of confused at what was happening because Christian was mad at her, and he was kind of like gonna take it out, which is going to give them both sexual pleasure without having a fight about anything. And I guess that would be their outlet for something like that. And that can be something that's healthy, but then Anna like freaks the fuck out. And I didn't know why she did that until she was like, "You're just doing that because it's revenge, not love." And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's an aspect of like BDSM culture. I'm not an expert on it or anything, so I won't try and pretend to be, but like that's a big part of it, is the sub acts bratty or whatever, and then they get quote unquote punished, but it's not really a punishment because both parties are into it.
Right. And she was feeling good. Even when he stopped, it wasn't like he was beginning to hurt her like in the other films, but she like freaked out. And I was like, he
was edging her. And I guess they've never done that before because they've never even had the "are we having kids" discussion before.
They never had the discussion of what does BDSM stand for, Christian? Unbelievable.
And I just want to point out, because I remembered, she hasn't been with any other men before. Christian is her one and only.
Yes, so Christian is her one and only. So that's her only experience with any type of sexuality. So at this point, she only knows what she likes from being with him and having that kind of sex. But don't forget, Sam, that in the beginning they do like have, non-BDSM sex, and like,
he with like that allows, she's being bratty. Like,
I know
she had some bratty moments there that would warrant a spanking, but because the writers don't fucking get what BDSM is.
Yeah, and that part like made me confused a lot when she was like saying like, like stop, like this is, like you're doing this to like make me feel like that. But that is the point, Sam. That's why I can't really wrap my head around it. It just didn't make any sense. The fuck?
I mean, I guess you could say, well, she wasn't intentionally trying to be bratty to him to warrant a punishment, but I don't know. It's weird because this movie is really just bad at showing the aspects of what a healthy BDSM relationship is supposed to look like.
Right. And I also want to bring up the fact that just like in general, if you are interested in that type of like eroticism with the edging, that's something that can actually then more pleasure instead of just rushing, you know, to be finished. So she is being extremely bratty in that aspect because she's not allowing herself to feel the full pleasure because she's just in a fucking rush, right?
Yes.
So can we also talk about, Sam, the fact that there wasn't a lot of sex in this movie? Do you notice that?
I feel like there was a lot of sex.
Really? Well, I was trying to compare it to the other two where there was like a sex scene every 20 minutes. You know how I like
maybe I'm just conflating with the fact that she was naked so much in this movie with just sex.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Because the sex in the other movies, I was able to recall it because every time there was a love scene, there was like a pop song. And I was like, okay, how many pop songs have I heard so far? I'm like, not that many. And then the latter half of the movie became more of like an action movie. And
yes.
Yeah.
Because I guess Hyde has it out for the Gray family because he and Christian were in the same foster home together. And
I forgot he was like a foster kid too.
And so he feels personally victimized that the Grays adopted Christian and not him.
Yeah, as one would.
He kidnaps Rita Ora and demands $5 million, which Anna provides, and he still like beats the shit out of her. And she's like in a coma for a few days.
Yeah. Wait, Sam, I need to talk to you about that a lot because I don't know if this belongs in production or not, but he doesn't like kick her in the head. He kicks her in the stomach one time. But then like
she's still pregnant.
Yeah, she's still pregnant, but he didn't hit her in the head and she didn't fall on that side of it. So something weird happened where they were like, oh, let's give her a head injury, but we forgot to film her getting a head injury. Yeah. So, and the baby is fine, but that was a massive kick. And I honestly thought she'd lose it. Yeah.
We haven't even touched on the Twilight fan fiction that is she is pregnant in the final installment.
Yes, of course.
Because she forgot her depot shot. And
your depot shot when you have a standing appointment monthly.
Yeah, that's what I'm really confused about because I never got the depot shot when I was considering birth control options. One of my college friends said, don't get the depot shot. I gained 70 pounds because of it.
Oh my God. Like, but yeah, we know about the depot shot though. Like as a woman, you know.
And it's a standing appointment. And I assume they call you a day before to remind you.
I assume that when you walk out of your appointment, you have an appointment card in your hand and they do call you before, right? Absolutely. Because it's important to not miss it.
So she gets pregnant and just like Edward, Christian is not happy about it.
Oh my God. Yeah, he basically,
She might love the baby more than him.
Yeah, he basically like turns into a little bitch boy and just like cries about it and goes out and gets drunk. And this is where things get weird because he like, instead of going out with his brother or like his sister who were just like around, he goes out with that lady who was like his weird mistress and sexually abused. But like, why is he still, if he's so traumatized, why does he still contact her? Like, I don't understand. And
because they needed drama.
I know. He's like, I complain about my life because it was really traumatic, but like, I'm going to call her.
Which it's not even that much drama because they resolved the issue with one topless fight.
I know. Yeah. She was like, well, Christian, I'm really mad at you.
And after Anna's coma, he's ready to commit. He's ready to be a father. And then
when she's on the brink of death, he's able to think it over and get some good, advice from his stepmom.
And then once they're both home, he's cooking dinner and they have an envelope with information about Hyde and how they're connected. And he's like, I was too young to remember. And I'm like, that child in that picture is 7 years old. You have the ability to create memories at 7 years old.
Yeah, honestly, you're right, Sam. And I think that's a bullshit. But also, like, I can see conflict that Jack Hyde would have, but also it's so far out of left field and it happened way too late, because I feel like they shoehorned in the helicopter crash incident being like on purpose. Did you get that vibe too?
They really shoehorned it in. It was like a throwaway line. They think the helicopter was tampered with before the
right.
crash.
And I was like, that's not true. It was just to create tension in the other movie so Anna would want to be with Christian more. Like, I don't know. I just think that's some fucking bullshit.
And
books, so I don't know if that's actually true.
Yeah, I've never read the books. But also with the information they received about Jack Hyde, there's also a letter saying they found his mother's grave. And I'm like, why would that be in the folder with the information about Jack Hyde?
Yes, that absolutely would not be there, because like, first of all, like she said it like, oh, it looks like they finally discovered it. Like, why, what, like, was it missing? Like, was it lost? Like, it didn't look like it was in a regular old graveyard nearby. So like it was just very bizarre. But they're like, we need to give Christian closure so he can be a good father. And like, this is the only way to do it, because he's still mad at his dead mother. You know what I mean? So it was just whatever.
And
it was a lot.
So they visit her grave and he lays flowers on it, and then they go home, and just like in Breaking Dawn, we have a little montage of their love story.
Oh my god, don't they have a montage in the other two movies, or like one of them? And I swear it's so ridiculous. And it's like, thanks, I forgot everything that happened. Thank you for reminding me.
They could have totally done that when he proposed to her in the second movie.
Yeah, there definitely was one somewhere, and I remember us joking about like, oh, thanks for having the montage because I forgot.
And then I'm a dumbass, so I closed out of the movie when it ended with them in the red room.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, is she still pregnant? So I looked up on the Wikipedia the plot summary of the movie, and I missed the mid-credit scene where they have their son and she's pregnant with their second child.
Oh no, I exited out too right when the credits started, Sam, and I was like, well, if there's any other scene, I fucking missed it. So I'm so glad you looked it up. 3
years later, they're a happy little family.
With 2 kids. Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Cool. Why don't they just, I don't know why they do that shit. Just time to wait around to see if there's any more, you know, so stop it, movie people. Stop that.
Yeah, I blame Marvel movies.
Oh, do they do that kind of thing? I know the end scene credits is a thing, but like, you know what type of movies are supposed to have that. 50 Shades is not. The final installment, we don't need that shit. Just like put it at the end if it's important enough. You don't need to like do a smash cut back to it halfway through the credits. Like we're good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It was dumb. I think that covers story. I can't remember much else that happened because this movie is so anticlimactic, and the screenplay is kind of, I wouldn't say all over the place like the second movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot more linear. Oh, I will bring this up. Did you notice that the house he bought her is the house they looked at when they were on the boat in the second movie?
Yes, because she does say, like, he says, like, do you recognize, she's like, I recognize this house. And he said that, like, you looked at it. And I remember when they were on the boat, she did look at like an enormous house in the distance. Like, I love that house. And he's like, well, I bought it. But also, people, I know that when you get married, like, you could do fabulous things with lots of money, but purchasing an estate is a conversation. No matter how surprising or how much money you may have, like, you got to talk about it. You got to.
And I think it's still a huge issue with their relationship is he keeps secrets from her. And like, I'm having my whole family bodyguarded because of a stalker who is your ex-boss who tried to rape you last movie.
Yeah. And like, I know that for some individuals, they may be thinking, okay, well, like, you know, my partner has secrets, but there's a difference between like privacy and like secrets. Okay. And Christian has secrets, but also I'm always going to say this, she married a stranger. If you don't know where your partner stands on huge issues that involve you and your body, like childbearing, you married a fucking stranger. I'm so sorry. you don't know what edging is and you're in a BDSM relationship, even if you're in a sexual relationship that you want to do more things in the bedroom, you don't even have to be in a BDSM to know what that means. Okay. And I know it's just a movie, but a real human person thought this was real when they wrote it, so it's problematic, and it's still problematic, and it's so anticlimactic that it's just, ugh.
Absolutely.
Not even a big deal. Yeah, not even a big deal. The only other big event that happened in the movie was Christian's brother proposed to his girlfriend, but they were trying to make that big drama that oh, he sleeps around. He slept with every girl in Seattle, bless you. And then he's going to sleep with that girl. And I was like, oh, he seems all right to me.
And can we talk about what a shitty friend Anna is for knowing he might be sleeping around and not telling her friend just because her husband is like, well, it's none of our business. Bitch, she was friends with her before she met you and your family.
Yeah, seriously, because of Anna, that's why he's getting engaged, because that's her friend. So yeah, I would be pissed. Yeah, but Anna's like, well, I have to do anything Christian says. I think that's basically it. They do get engaged, and that's fabulous. And her brother has a little bit more personality because he smiles sometimes and makes it funny every once in a while. But and then Christian, they're trying to make him more of they're making him a character with more depth, but it's not working because they're like, well, how can we give someone more depth? And they're like, let's have him play the piano and sing a song and have it be a surprise to his family. And yeah, and that was
that's another Twilight parallel is
oh yeah,
Edward started playing the piano again when he met Bella.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the key word, Sam, is again, because he already knew how to play and he's a vampire, so he could perfect his skill. But then whenever I didn't know he could sing, or I don't know he knew what a piano was, but here he is playing the piano and singing a song, and it was very awkward.
And Jamie Dornan
was not romantic or sexy. Did he play the piano for real in that scene?
Yeah, Jamie Dornan is actually a really good singer. He also has a big love ballad in Barb and Star. So
is Barb and Star a movie he's in, a show?
A movie. It's a comedy.
Oh, it's a comedy.
Yeah. I describe it as I say that it scratched the hole or the itch that was left it filled the hole that Austin Powers 4
got it
was never able to fill because Austin Powers 4 never happened.
Oh, I see. There's big comedy names like Kristen Wiig. Yeah. All right, cool. Wait, I have something else I have to say. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say about Jamie Dornan, but this probably is back in character. But can we talk about how he his BDSM outfit is jeans?
Yes.
No shirt. Is that normal?
I'm gonna guess. So let's consider what the core fan base of 50 Shades of Grey is. It is absolutely our Midwestern aunts who have been married for 35 years.
Yeah.
So yes, his BDSM uniform is a...
Well, I would love to look at a man with some jeans and no shirt.
Yeah.
That's it. Wow.
Because
you're right.
That'll take them back to their youth of seeing fine young men shirtless in jeans working on their tractors or some shit.
Yeah, working on the tractors because it's just farm boys. So that's why his face is so well. Actually, you know what? When you think about men like that, I don't think of men with a very soft face like Christians. Ooh. So anyway, did we end up talking about the ice cream in the ice cream scene?
We did not, but that was absolutely disgusting and I never want to see it again. I don't mean to insult anyone who enjoys that. That's part of their kink or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was disgusted.
I was also disgusted, and I'm really glad because listeners don't know this, but Sam was so disgusted. Sometimes we get so disgusted we just have to message each other before the podcast. And she messaged me and like said the ice cream scene with like a throw up barfy emoji face. And I was like, oh my God, Sam, I felt the same way. And if you haven't seen the ice cream scene, you can look it up, but it's just, the issue is she's eating ice cream in the middle of the night, which A, bothers me because that means you should probably brush your teeth before you go back to bed. So one, I'm bothered already because of like that little thing. Next, she puts the ice cream like on his chest, like a little bit on his collarbone, and that's okay. But then she fucking takes it too far. She puts the ice cream all over his chest hair. Yep. And it's disgusting because it's not like ice, so therefore it's gonna be sticky. Mm-hmm. Ew. Like who wants to do that and have my God.
Maybe it would have been erotic if it was done by two actors who had any kind of chemistry with one another.
Yeah.
But no, this is just,
it came out of nowhere because I thought she was like not being able to sleep because she was like, you know, having a lot of thoughts in her head, but she's like, no, I just want to have sex with Christian. Oops, I'm gonna add ice cream into the mix. Like, oh, it just didn't work for me at all. Not at all.
I hated it.
There weren't a lot of sex scenes, Sam. There may be like 3. And then there were like attempted sex scenes, like in the shower when she was going to touch him, but like he said no. So things like that happened as well. Also, I consider the BDSM scene with the edging not a sex scene because they didn't like, you know, finish. So I would just consider that like a nude like scene a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's me. I don't know how it's actually critiqued. But okay, I think we really covered like everything we could in story.
Yeah. So production, one nice thing I will say is this movie does have a beautiful score. The score was done by Danny Elfman. All the movies have wonderful scores. I'm not talking about the soundtrack because the soundtracks are just top 40 pop songs that kind of fit the mood, but not really. But the actual score of the movie is quite nice, and Danny Elfman did a very good job.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you said that because listeners, like if you've watched the movie, you probably didn't notice the score, but you've noticed the soundtrack, which is, all the pop songs that play when they kiss.
Love me like you do. Love me like you do.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like one of the songs is in like maybe the first or second movie. It was just like songs that were just like, okay, I didn't even know any of them, but like, I'm not cool. So other than that, production, again, everything looks cool. They have really big, spacious rooms. They have a lot of money. They look nice. There's nothing spectacular. Oh, wait, production. We can't forget I know this sounds like something silly to forget, but there's a huge action car chase in the middle of the movie.
And in other podcasts that have reviewed this movie, they point this out a lot, that there's no way that car chase could have happened during that time of day in Seattle because the roads would have been too busy and too crowded.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's in the middle of the afternoon and they're driving in like a 2-lane one-way traffic road or like however many lanes it is. And it would have been like very dangerous. So she's driving around really fast and she's having a lot of fun. The car is chasing them, trying to get around this big giant truck with logs. And like that could have killed them or the other people. It was just very dangerous. So I don't know, but it was also like at a place, dangerous. And I want to let you know that if this was filmed in Seattle, where they're doing the car chase looks just like downtown Pittsburgh. And I'm convinced that it might be. Other than that, after they have the car chase, she's like, oh, I think we lost in the car too, because it was such a quickie that I like kind of forgot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's when the whole thing started to become an action movie because then like, you know, we have the car scene and the car chase because they're getting chased by her ex boss, but then he like actually kidnaps and then a ransom is happened. So all these kidnapping action movie elements come through in the last 30 minutes of the movie, which is very awkward. And it raises the tension, but also everything is very anticlimactic because all of it could have been like she could have gotten caught or killed at any moment because like they're like, don't bring your phone. Her phone was in the money bag, but if they had checked the money bag, like she would have got beat. You know, I don't know, all these things. They should have checked her for a gun. She had a gun on her. So no one did their part correctly for either party. Okay,
No.
the kidnapper or the kidnappee. Nobody did the right thing.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I gotta say. My rant is over.
Yeah. So I'm glad we finished this movie. I'm gonna give it a what the fuck.
Yeah, me too. I'm so sorry. I'm looking up stuff about the car chase, and I keep remembering that there's like this actress in a commercial about driving fast cars. I don't know if that has anything to do with Dakota Johnson or not. Yeah. But I gave it a same thing as Sam. The fuck. But I'm glad it's over, but also that means that you and I have to consider what our new movies are going to be for our Valentine's Day specials.
I'm sure we'll find something.
Yeah, we'll find something fabulous. There's got to be something out there for us, definitely. Yeah, I'm glad this is over. Realistic aspects are basically covered. One big thing is marrying a stranger who's like a man child who's jealous of like a child that you're going to have. Like that's some shit. I would say another realistic aspect is still the fact that like it does have the echoes of a very toxic, abusive relationship, and that was made very clear early on in the beginning of the movie when he was mad at like Anna for wearing a bikini. Very ridiculous stuff that is messed up. So all that stuff, not being able to drive the car, having to have no privacy, all these things. And those are the realistic aspects. So yeah, if you're looking for a fun movie to watch for Valentine's Day,
find something else.
Yeah, find something else. Don't watch this one because this one is not even that exciting. Hey Sam, how would you rank these movies?
I think the first one is probably the best.
So like 1, 2, 3?
Probably. I had a lot of issues with 2 just because Anna shouldn't have gotten back together with him. So 1 as a standalone is probably the best.
Yeah, so just like 1.
Yeah, but 2, you have so many toxic aspects in that relationship. So I might put 3 ahead of it just for that aspect because I was really mad with Anna in 2.
Yes. Yeah,
and
definitely.
2 also just had a lot of some of the same issues with 3 where not a lot happened. But at the same time, it was like a bunch of mini climax sequences.
Yes.
Like you have the shit going on with her boss, but then that's resolved fairly easily. And then you have the helicopter crash, but that's resolved in like 15 minutes.
It is.
So it's hard to say if I would put 3 above 2 or 2 above 3, but if 1 is a standalone, I think that would be a great movie because she gets into this BDSM relationship, realizes he's toxic and bad for her, and breaks it off, and that's it. So
yeah, and that's it. So that would make that for actually a pretty good movie because it would turn her character into like something even more empowering. Yeah. Well, that's that then. Goodbye, 50 Shades. Goodbye. And good luck. Goodbye. So yeah, goodbye. So okay. If I have nothing else to say, are we ready for the outro?
Yes.
The end notes.
Sorry,
Right,
I sounded too eager, but
that's it. Yeah, you're like, goodbye, girls. Like, baby, don't leave yet. Goodbye. So Real Horror Show was created by Sam Odie and Stormy Skies and is directed by Sam Odie. Today we learned that you should just stop at the first movie and person and don't stranger. Anything else funny that we learned that sticks out to you? Don't forget in the Airbnb with your friends.
Don't have sex in a communal space.
Yeah, like the kitchen table.
Yeah. Also, don't forget your depot shot if that's your form of birth control.
Yeah, and like there's no reason for her to have ever forgotten that, because I'm sure she has the best doctors and gynecologists at this point, and I'm sure that like her schedule is tight, and Christian probably has her schedule too. So it's almost like she like forgot on purpose. I don't know. That was like a gray area. All right. So we learned all that. So let's take it and apply it. Like what you hear, you can find Real Horror Show on Spotify, TuneIn, Google Play Store, Stitcher, iTunes, and Pandora. Really like what you hear? Follow us on Twitter at Horror Show Pod, or search for Real Horror Show on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook at Real Horror Show. Like our page and share our stuff. We also have a website that all of our written reviews and podcasts can be found. realhorrorshow.com. Want to interact with us and want to make sure we're real humans and not space vampires? Comment on our website or email us at realhorrorshowpodcast@gmail.com. Want to argue with us about something? Or think you have a really great horror movie review that you're dying to share with two random strangers from the internet? Submissions are open for movie reviews. Check out the submit page on our website and follow the rubric before sending us anything. If it's not done according to the rubric, it will be disregarded. Sorry, not sorry. We love horror, and if you're listening, please our website where you can make a one-time donation via PayPal. We also have an Amazon wish list if you feel like buying us something tangible will help convey your love more than a monetary donation would. Also, you can find the Buy Us a Coffee button on our website. It's a button you can click that will pay us the amount you would need to buy a coffee. A little bit goes a long way. Sometimes we can't help out artists monetarily, and that's okay. By simply liking, sharing, retweeting, and even giving us an awesome review will help us out tremendously. And other than it being a Valentine's Day, any other pertinent news? Sam says, no.
Wait, sorry, what was the question?
I said, any other pertinent news, Sam?
No, not at the moment.
I just said happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I celebrate Valentine's Day, which falls on a Monday. So if it's just a Monday for you, then happy Monday. So whatever you like. You can also treat yourself. And if you don't celebrate Valentine's Day with a partner, that doesn't mean you can't, like treat yourself on this day and like do something cool or like buy yourself something. Just like do your thing. Yeah, do your thing. There are no rules. Okay. Our outro song is called Creepy Doll by Jonathan Coulson. Thank you, fuck off, and have a swell evening. And this is Real Horror Show signing off.
Bye.
Bye.
And there's a creepy doll that always follows